back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You want to make props again for the Franchise Expo South that's taking place this weekend here in Houston, Texas. We're going to be covering it. We'll have some great interviews. You want to be a part of it, and you want to get your tickets for free to join us. Make sure you go to usdailyreview.com. They're being brought to you by usdailyreview.com. Go to the business section. Get your free tickets while they're liking on Facebook. Follow it on Twitter. Someone else you're going to like is my good friend Lance Malone. He does a phenomenal job. His company, Standard Supply, has been the industry standard in the heating and AC area for decades. And always love having you on. Always love the insight that you're bringing us to make my audience as educated as it can be when it comes to taking care of their home and taking care of themselves. Introduce us to Standard Supply, give that website, and then introduce your guest and give his website as well as we start this segment.
Sure, Kevin. Standard Supply is a distributor of heating, air conditioning, refrigeration, and ventilation products. And we've been helping the best contractors in Texas take care of their customers and their comfort needs since 1946. So we're going up on 70 years now we've been doing this. I'm really pleased today to have Brian Rovia. Brian is the owner of Nortex Heat and Air here in the North Texas area. And you can find out more about them at nortexheatandair.com. That's Nortex Heat.
Awesome. Welcome to our program. Kind of give us your elevator speech. Kind of give us an overview of what makes your business unique and for our audience.
Well, Nortex has been in the Metroplex now for the last 6 years, and I've been in the business now for about 16 years. But basically, we just try to provide, every family with all their comfort needs that we can address and hopefully take care of any other issues they may have with allergies, air filtration.
Kevin, today we're going to talk with Brian about one of the biggest misconceptions by homeowners. Brian, tell us about a common misconception homeowners have when it's time to think about replacing their air conditioner.
The biggest misconception that they have is that they need new ductwork and that they need a bigger air conditioner. And, that might not always be the case. So that's why we always like to come out and take a look and address the situation and see, what the issues may be, because every house is different and everybody has different needs. And so the best thing for us to do is just to come out and look and see what we're working with and, what maybe we can do to help the situation for each customer.
Yeah, it's funny, we've all been trained that bigger is better. And maybe dating myself a little bit, there was a show with Tim the Toolman Taylor who always made us think that more power was the better option. And that's not necessarily the case when it comes to your air conditioning. I wanted to ask Brian, do contractors ever contribute to this misconception?
Yes. In the new building process, a lot of times they can be undersized. Now, if, the unit has been replaced before, obviously a lot of those issues have either been addressed. Sometimes a couple of things have been looked over. But if you have had the same existing unit in your home, a lot of times that is an issue, but we will address that when we come out, and also look at other things that may be contributing factors to causing other issues in the home as well.
Brian, I want to ask, first of all, when you say North Texas, what does that whole geographical area entail for your company? And then also, how many employees does your company have?
We've got 7 employees, and basically we cover Collin County, Grayson County, Tarrant County, and of course Dallas County as well. Now there are, certain instances where customers do call in outside those counties, and we will go out there as well. We basically just try to provide, comfort to everyone, and as long as we can get there, we will try to make it, that same day if possible.
Well, I wanted to ask Brian to tell us why it's typically not a good idea to put in a bigger system just because the homeowner thinks they want a bigger system.
Well, there's a lot of different reasons for that as well. The first one in particular can be if you do oversize it, you're not going to have the system cycle like it should, and it's not going to dehumidify the area like it should, and that's just going to lead to more problems down the road, not only with the air conditioning, but with the building itself, whether it is your home or your office or whatever it may be. So that's why it is important to make sure that the units are sized properly for the space that you are trying to condition, and that is one of the things that is the most important to address when we first come out. And then, of course, we need to look at the ductwork and the filtration, and there's many other contributing factors as well, that all play into that.
What does it do to your utility usage, your electricity usage, when the system is too big for the space?
Well, you're not necessarily going to save on bills because the unit's going to be starting and stopping all the time. So that can actually lead to increased usage over time. And then, of course, the flip side of that is that it's going to shorten the life of the system, which nobody wants that, especially with, the cost of replacing these things nowadays. We want to try to make them as optimal as possible.
Yeah, and you mentioned the issue with humidity if the system's oversized. What does the homeowner typically have to do to compensate for that humidity level not being where it should be?
Well, they'll have to do certain things like add an in-home dehumidification system if the humidity is too high. If the humidity is too low, we have customers, we've gone out and they're running, standalone dehumidifiers or humidifiers in their home. And, that shouldn't really need to be necessary if you have a properly sized system and of course, the ductwork and everything is aligned and sealed properly as well.
Yeah, that's a great answer, Brian. Also, sometimes people will just have to turn the thermostat down. If they're used to a certain humidity level and their system is not running long enough, they may need it a few degrees cooler in the house to feel comfortable because there's too much humidity. Now, what if the current system isn't keeping the home at the desired temperature? Does that mean that they need a bigger system?
Not necessarily. With the options that you have today, with the two-stage equipment and various different SEER, we have the ability to control not only the humidity but the temperature a lot more precisely than, say, your unit even 10 years ago.
Yeah, and what are some of those other problems that could be causing a system that is problematic?
Gentlemen, I'm sorry, Lance, got to start wrapping it up. It's amazing, though. I mean, people need to really know this stuff, and unfortunately, they treat it like a necessary evil, often undermining the quality of their lives, wasting money. It's just really extraordinary. Lance, wrap it up with your website one more time and with your guest website.
Sure. My guest today is Brian Rovia, owner of Nortex Heating and Air. And you can find them at nortexheatandair.com. That's nortexheatandair.com. And you can learn more about my company, Standard Supply, at ssdhvac.com. That's ssdhvac.com.
Thanks to both of you, gentlemen. Glad to have you on today's program. Enjoy today's show. Want to remind you, of course, the best content here, it shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you spend it right here on this station.